Hellcat.
Hello, welcome to today's episode on Sports for the People. We're going to be doing start one, bench one, sell one today. And we're going to go through a couple of lists that we've written. We're going to start with Scholes, Gerrard and Lampard. So Barry, if you had to start one in your team, bench one in your team, and then sell one, who would it be?
Who you starting with?
Yeah, I was waiting.
I said Barry.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, sorry. Go on.
Although Lampard is like the ultimate goal scorer, I've put Gerrard just ahead just for his overall play. As I would start one. I'd bench Lampard and I would sell Scholes.
Wow, coming from a United fan, fair play.
I know.
I disagree.
Why, who would you have starting?
I would start Lampard. Top 10 goal scorers in Premier League history, and he's a midfielder. Won everything in the game. What about you, Dan?
I would start Paul Scholes because he's the best centre midfielder ever in the Premier League. So,
oh my God.
And then I'd bench Gerrard.
Oh my God.
Lampard.
Well, it starts off strong, this podcast.
Scholesy was class. Absolute class.
Yeah, but not as good as Lampard or Gerrard. Jack, I'm going to assume you disagree with that.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree on this one. I'm basing this as if they were playing United. So I'd start Lampard because he would score. I'd bring Gerrard off the bench to get a red card after 38 seconds. And I'd sell Scholes because I personally think he's overrated as fuck. So that's just me.
So all three of you had a different trio, didn't you? It's a good start. Like I said, I'd go for Lampard, Gerrard, Scholes. Next one we'll go for, it's probably another difficult one. We'll go for Xavi, Iniesta, and Pirlo. So we'll go to you, Dan, first.
So to start, Xavi, for me, he's best Spanish. He doesn't. Jack doesn't agree.
Jack
for me,
does not like it.
For me, Xavi started the tic-tac of football Barcelona. For me, he is the best Spanish midfielder. Bench Iniesta.
Jack's just checking his earphones, making sure they're working.
I'd bench Iniesta and I'd sell Pele.
Okay. Jack.
I would start Pirlo because the man oozes his class and is arguably one of the best passers that has ever lived. I would bench Iniesta because I could always bring him on to win the World Cup. And I would sell Xavi because he's not as good as the other two. It's the honest answer.
Wow.
What did Pele win international level, Jack?
A World Cup in 2006.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's the clip. That's the clip.
Just the World Cup. That's it.
No, because I know Xavi won the Euros and the World Cup, and I was trying to
the Euros twice.
Yeah.
Barry.
Lower won the World Cup. Still dog shit.
Yeah, true. Barry.
I would have to start Pirlo because he just controls the game and he just oozes class. And then I would bench Xavi because he's a little bit of a playmaker. He can bring him on. And then Iniesta I didn't really rate, so I would sell him.
Didn't rate Iniesta. How is that possible?
Bold.
I think Xavi made Iniesta look better than he was.
Or did Iniesta make Xavi look better than he was?
No, I think Xavi controlled the game a bit like
he
Pirlo.
did. Thank you.
He did control the game a lot more than Iniesta, but would you have rather had, say, a midfield three of Busquets?
I think it's a harder position that Xavi can play it because he's let Iniesta just do whatever he wants and carry on with the game. I think it's harder to do what Xavi did throughout your career, stay disciplined and play how he played.
Do you not think Pirlo did that as well?
Yeah, I think Pirlo did it better. That's why I started Pirlo, but I don't really rate Iniesta above those two.
Fair enough. Interesting start. We'll move on to Virgil van Dijk, Sergio Ramos, and Nemanja Vidic. We'll go to Jack to kick us off because I reckon I know where this is going.
So I would start Sergio Ramos because the man has literally won everything, and he is a world-class centre back. You can't deny it. He's stood the test of time. He's done everything. I would bench Vidic because Vidic was an animal in his day, and he was just world-class centre back for United. Was part of one of the best centre back partnerships Premier League's ever seen. And I'll sell Van Dijk because I'd have 85 million afterwards.
Fair, but do you not think maybe Vidic in his prime would be worth something like that nowadays?
He probably would, but I think just for the simple fact that Van Dijk just hasn't stood the test of time yet. He's had like don't get me wrong, he's had two extremely good seasons, but who says that Van Dijk next season is going to be as good as, Liverpool could have a torrid season. People could be like, well, turns out that Van Dijk can't turn. You just don't know. I can't say that after 2 seasons at the top, he's better than Sergio Ramos. That's stupid.
No, totally agree. Although I might be tempted to sell Vidic personally, but I would 100% be starting Sergio Ramos every single day. Dan?
I would start Ramos because, like Jack said, he is an absolute world-class defender. He's done it all for Madrid. He's done it with Spain, national teams, won all major trophies. I would bench Vidic because obviously he had the famous partnership with Ferdinand. He won loads of trophies with Man United. And I would sell one of the most overrated players in the world, and that's Virgil van Dijk. People saying, oh, he's the best centre-back in the Premier League. And he hasn't even bloody won the Premier League yet, for Christ's sake. Comparing him to, like, Company, Terry, Adams. And how can you compare him to that? He hasn't even won the fucking Premier League yet, excuse my French. But, I would sell Van Dijk quite happily. And like Jack says, you get 85 million.
That would be a good back three, though, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah, it'd be a good back three.
Yeah. Pretty awesome. Barry, what about you, my friend?
I've gone the same with everybody else, to be fair. Ramos has won everything in the game. Plus, he's scored, I think it's like 80-plus goals.
Yeah, he's really
back. Like, what other centre-back do you know that's done that, really? And then Vidic, I've always liked him at Man United. I think Ferdinand wouldn't have been the same without Vidic next to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really rate Van Dijk like as world's best. And going on that comparison, he's only done it at the top level for 2 seasons.
Yeah,
with a strong keeper behind him as well. And his partnerships as well has helped them out as well to be a top defender.
I would say about partnerships, though, Ramos probably has had better centre-back partners, and so did Vidic, than Van Dijk has had at Liverpool.
Yeah.
So Van Dijk...
I just think John Mattip's class.
I can't believe you managed to say that with a straight face, Jack. Fair play.
I just think he needs like at least another 5 years at the top level, winning Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues and FA Cups to be considered on Ramos's level and Vidic's level.
Yeah. What about, we'll go for a bit of goalkeeper action. Buffon, Neuer, Gianluigi. I was going to say it, but I always fuck it up. Buffon, Manuel Neuer, and Iker Casillas. Should we go Barry first?
I've picked to start Buffon just because of his longevity. I was going to go for Casillas, but I just think Buffon at his level has been there, done it, and the age he's still doing it at.
But you say they've been there, done it. He's not won a Champions League.
Yeah, I just think he's been loyal, isn't he, to a club for a long time, and I just think he's
So was Casillas. Casillas was loyal to Real Madrid for years. He was captain at 21 years old. Won the Champions League. Won the World Cup. Won the Euros twice.
I just think that Casillas, he was playing in front of such an amazing team that was just scoring loads of goals all the time. So he could let in 2, but Real Madrid back in those days just score 3 or 4 every game. But with the team that Buffon was playing, back then, not sort of like now, he didn't have a strong back four.
Buffon's had a very strong back four with Italy and Juventus, I would say, or back three, depending how they play in the last 10 years.
And then my second odd bench would be Neuer.
Oh my God.
What?
Yeah.
You high.
Yeah, I'll rate Neuer. And I'll bench sell Casillas.
Okay, well, thanks for joining us, Barry. Time for you to go to bed now. Dan, I assume you disagree.
Yeah, quite heartily. It's a tough one. It was between obviously Buffon and Casillas for start and bench. But I've done Buffon over Casillas. The only reason is Casillas left Real Madrid when how old was he? Must have been about 32 or something. Buffon has consistently been at a top club. Was he 40 now? 41?
42, I think.
And he's still a top keeper. And Casillas is like not as good as he used to be. You know, is he playing anymore?
He's retired because he had a heart attack, didn't he?
No, he's still at Porto, isn't he?
No, he's going to be a coach. Yeah, I think he came back and then he's retired since because he had a heart attack, didn't he?
I think he came back and he couldn't cope with what happened to him.
But basically, Buffon, he's been consistent for like 20 years, literally, non-stop. And for me, there's only one keeper potentially I think is better than Buffon ever. Wow, for like the last 20, 30 years, and that's Oliver Kahn. But, you know.
Yeah, he was a great keeper, to be fair.
What about you, Joe?
Neuer.
What about me? So I'm starting Neuer.
I love that. I love the controversy. I love Dan's face.
Neuer created his
keeper position.
He created his own style of play. Like, Neuer is an enigma. Neuer's class. Neuer won the World Cup with Benedict Hooverdes at left back. That's how good Manuel Neuer is. He won it with Benedict Hooverdes.
He played left back and goalkeeper.
And scored Ram Mustafi. Like, how good you have to be as a keeper. The man's class. The man does kick-ups on his own halfway line. He's genius. I'm benching Buffon because Buffon's a classy man. Stood the test of time. You know, he's still going at 42. He's won a World Cup. Like people said, like, Juve got relegated to Serie B. He stayed with them. You know, okay, hasn't won a Champions League, but he is, you know, he's a very good keeper. I'm selling Casillas, and that's purely for the simple reason is he went from being world class to dog shit in about a season. He just was like the World Cup in 2014. No, 2014 one.
Oh yeah. Was that the Euros?
No, Euros was 2012. Because it was a
2010. Yeah.
2014, like, he was terrible. He was awful in that World Cup. He got benched by Real Madrid, and like, I think up until that point he was a world class. He was the best keeper in the world. But then all of a sudden, like, you've never seen someone's form drop. Like, people were hounding him. No one wanted him to stay, and unfortunately, I think it's just that point where, like, unfortunately, he had that massive dip, and that's just what loses it for me.
Jack, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go on, mate.
What about Neuer and all that? Do you reckon like he's had enough years to compare to Buffon though? Because Buffon's done it for about 20 years. Neuer's done it for how many years at the top level?
10.
No,
it's about 10 years now.
Yeah.
He's been there for 10 years, but like, you got to think, like, Neuer probably for like the first 5 to 6 years of that, every single time he went for a World 11, Neuer was the keeper. Like, Neuer's won Champions Leagues, Neuer's won World Cups, Neuer's won pretty much everything. But it's just, the only reason why I pick him is it's just he's created something. Like, the other two are very traditional keepers. He has done something which no other keeper has done. And very few people can. Like, you know, Hugo Lloris thinks he's a sweeper keeper. Yeah, he's shit. Like, so realistically, like, you just got, that's the only reason why I haven't.
No, I get the reasoning. We'll go for, we've got 3 Arsenal fans here, so I reckon we're going to know where one of these is. But Alan Shearer, Sergio Aguero, and Thierry Henry. I'm going to come to James first.
I've gone
Be
Henry.
careful what you say. Thank you.
I know. I'll say I might get kicked out of this if I didn't say Henry. But yeah, I think Henry just because his flair and style and the type of goals he scored, everybody just got excited about him.
Mm-hmm.
And then Shearer, I've gone to bench because I grew up watching Shearer. 'Cause I'm a little bit older, so I'll rate him. He's just a natural goal scorer, and I would sell Aguero. So I know he's a good goal scorer, but just Shearer, I think if he was in any other team and he didn't love Newcastle, he would win trophy after trophy with a big team.
The only thing I'd say about that is, and the reason why I would always put Henry first, I think Henry, a bit like Jack said with Neuer, Henry was the best striker on the planet. I don't think you could ever say that about Shearer or Aguero at any point. As much as I like both of them, I think Henry was undoubtedly the best striker in the world at one point.
Yeah.
Dan, I'm assuming you put the man, the god at top.
Quite simply, the greatest striker ever to play in the Premier League, Thierry Henry, obviously, start. Bench.
I think it's quite difficult between the bench and the selling. That's why this one's difficult for me.
Well, I've benched Aguero. And the reason why I have benched Aguero is because, don't get me wrong, I know Shearer is scored the most amount of goals in the Premier League, but he never proved it at a top club. Aguero has proven himself to be world class in a big club.
I think that's the debate people will be having about Harry Kane if he never leaves
Thierry
Tottenham.
Henry won everything. He won World Cup, he won Euros, Champions League, Prem titles. Aguero, he's won like obviously the Premier League and all that. If Shearer went to someone like United or something like that, then we could have that debate. But for me, I would have to bench Aguero and sell Shearer personally.
Yeah, fair enough. Jack?
Thierry Henry is naturally going to be there. You know, all-round world-class player. You know, he's got a ridiculous assist record. He's got the most assists in one season, Premier League. Man scored 30 goals a season for like 6 seasons in a row. He is the best striker that's ever been in the Premier League. He's the best player that's ever played the Premier League. There is no question about that. I'm going to go with Shearer as my bench. The only reason why I do that is purely for the teams the others have played with. Aguero is an amazing player, and honestly, I'd love it if he played for my club. But when you look at it, like when he first came to club, he had like prime David Silva, who is incredible, and now he's got prime Kevin De Bruyne, who's incredible, and he's just got all of those world-class players. Like Shearer won the league with Blackburn. The next best player behind Shearer at Blackburn was Chris Sutton. And Chris Sutton's a good player, but how many people remember Chris Sutton?
Yeah.
Like, that's just the honest thing. Like,
Tim Sherwood, don't forget.
Who the fuck is Tim Sherwood? Like,
he was the captain.
He's dog shit. But the thing is, like, it's just Shearer's just a different class player. Like, he made the teams he played in decent. Like, the only reason why Newcastle were anywhere near winning the league before a bit of a meltdown was Alan Shearer. And like, I think he just like if he went to any other club, he would have won the league. Like,
but he actually never played that much for England, really, did he? If you think
no,
like, but then like to be fair, if you bring an international thing, like Aguero's done nothing for Argentina, so
no, I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
No, I get that, and Henry is class. But like, yeah, it's just for me, it's just like Alan Shearer, just for what he's done with the players around him, just makes him a little bit better than what I think Aguero's done.
I think also if you're choosing, say this is for your personal squad, Shearer's a different striker to Henry, whereas I think Henry and Aguero got a lot of similarities. So maybe if you wanted to switch up style and go a bit more long ball, Shearer would help in that.
Quick question, guys. Who would you pick, Thierry Henry or Brazilian Ronaldo?
Brazilian Ronaldo.
Oh, there we go. At the exact same time, Barry and Jack. It's a very
I just think when Ronaldo, when he was younger, he was just amazing.
Thierry Henry would share the buffet after a game.
Remember his famous haircut, his little thingamabob there, wasn't it?
2002 World Cup.
Yeah.
It's a tough one, that one. We've got the Stanley Matthews, Ryan Giggs, and George Best debate come up. I'll start with Barry for this one.
It's quite hard because I've never really seen Stanley Matthews, but what have I gone for?
You tell me. That's what I'm asking.
That's well. I've gone for Giggs just because I grew up with watching Giggs, and in his youth, no one would take him down, just go weave through anybody, set anybody up, and score a goal. And I've seen the bits and bobs of George Best, even though he liked to drink a bit like Gaza. I think if he lent off a little bit, I think he would have been like up there with like Maradona and players like that. That's why like people sort of compare him to like Maradona, but because he liked his partying a bit too much.
Maradona didn't.
Yeah, but towards after, but he was on a different level.
He was different Seth Gremlin.
I think Best I would bench, and then Stanley Matthews I would sell. Just pure fact, I've never really watched him play or any footage like that.
I think Giggs is severely overrated. But Dan?
I would start George Best. I've seen like highlights of George Best, and he's absolutely phenomenal. He was phenomenal today when like Bobby Charlton and all that, Dennis Law and all that. I've seen he was absolutely phenomenal to watch. And that's why Man United won so many trophies with him in it. The only reason I'm benching Giggs over Matthews is also because I don't know much about Stanley Matthews. I mean, Giggs was class, but I do think he was a little bit overrated. I always remember that bloody goal he scored against Arsenal. That
one of the best moments ever.
Patrick Vieira loses that ball, and then Giggs decides to do this like 50-yard bloody run and score. That hurt. But yeah, I would have to sell Stanley Matthews.
Yeah, what about you, Jack?
So I mean, to start with Stanley Matthews, I've never seen him play football. Naturally, I mean, the guy was playing football in like the 50s, 60s. From what I've heard from different people, he was arguably one of the best players alive when he played. For that, and to be fair, just because I've not seen him and I'll honour him a little bit, I'll put him in the bench section. I'm not going to say he's played, but I'll bench him. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt that he's a good player. I'm going to start Best because Best could neck a bottle of whiskey and still be banging over every player on the pitch. So for that reason, kind of paying homage to like Tony Adams, it takes a real player to be able to get pissed and still play a game of football. I'm going to go with him. I'm very like Giggs is a good player, but like you speak to United fans, and United fans will always be like, Best is like the best player that's ever played for us. So it takes a lot for United fans to actually say that one player is the best. So I'm going to go with George Best, and then Stanley Matthews, and then fuck off Giggs.
Nice. We'll go for a bit of defender action. Philip Lahm, Cafu, and Paolo Maldini. We'll go to Dan first.
Well, the selling was easy for me. The selling was Philip Lahm. That was the easiest for me. Literally, that really was. Easiest one.
What are you drinking there, Dan? Have you got any left?
Have you seen Maldini and Cafu play?
Yeah, I've also seen Philip Lahm play.
Cafu was better than Lahm.
I've literally just broken a chair.
Maldini for me.
The fact it was easy. No debate.
Maldini and Nesta and Jaap Stam and all that. That was such a good defence for AC Milan. For me, Maldini is easily one of the greatest ever defenders ever to play football. So for me, Maldini is start. And for me, Cafu, when he was like at the World Cup and when he was playing for AC Milan, he was unstoppable because it was Cafu, Nesta, Maldini, Jaap Stam. That defence for me was just incredible. There's not many better defence than that for me. I mean, don't get me wrong, Philippe Lahm, when he was at Bayern in Germany, he was class. I'm not denying that. But Maldini and Cafu were, for me, on another level. That's my view.
Never got a red card in his 700-game career, Philip Lahm, as far as I'm aware.
Didn't he retire a little bit earlier as well?
So Barry,
Maldini.
We'll let Jack fester for a little bit.
I'm gonna start Maldini. I think he's one of the best that's ever played. He could play centre. He could play all across the back four. And I've benched Lahm over Cafu. I think Lahm was brilliant. Didn't he play in midfield at the end of his
EDM,
career?
yeah, for a couple of years.
Defensive mid. So he was a very versatile player. I think he was underrated because he was at Bayern. Because people was, it's a poor league, stuff like. If he was any other club in Europe, top teams, he would have been like talked about forever. And I've benched obviously Cafu, even though he was a bombing forward type of right back, taking a bit like Roberto Carlos on the left. But I just think Lam, for his over longevity and that, I think he's a bit of a head of Cafu.
Yeah, Jack, go on then. time to let it out.
So I'm selling Cafu. Straight up selling Cafu. The man played right back, and that was
Delusional.
Okay. He played right back. That was it. Great. He was a great right back, but whatever. He played right
Yeah,
back.
do you prefer Danny Alves?
Huh? No, Danny Alves was dog shit as well. But
Danny Alves was good.
But like
Danny Alves was
Danny
good.
Alves has got the second most trophies ever, I think.
Oh yeah, it's class. Brilliant. But anyway, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm shocked.
Maldini's the best defender that's ever lived. Okay, like that's just. I think that is. You can't ever deny Maldini is the best defender that's ever lived. And so he will start. Philip Lam is the most underrated player ever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the man was so good that Bayern in Germany were like, do you mind playing left back? And then when they finally found a decent left back, they were like, do you mind playing right back? And then when they ran out of centre mids and they found a decent right back, they were like, can you play centre defensive mid now? He's 5'2". He'd still be a better centre back than most of the centre backs on the planet now. Like, he literally could play anywhere. Honestly, I think if you went to Lam, if Lam was able just to, for his entire career, to play right back for his entire career, he would probably be the best right back of all time. But for the simple fact that so many of the teams he played for went, we need you to fill other roles. And I think it's just his ability to play so many positions is why I'd have him on the bench. He's just fucking class.
Jack, I don't think Dan's looking happy with that. But...
Jack,
what?
you're saying going forward, Philippe Lahm was better than Cafu?
No, I'm saying defensively, Philippe Lam was better than Cafu. He's a fucking right back, mate. I want him to be a defender. If you want wing backs, you have wing backs. But Philippe Lam was a quality defender.
Right, we'll leave that one then. Let's see if you fall off your seat with this one. I'm going to go with Sterling, Raheem Sterling, Jadon Sancho, and Marcus Rashford. I'm going to come to Barry for this one first, being a United fan.
I've actually chosen to start Sancho for this one, just because of the season he's having. I know it's Bundesliga, but they ain't got great players, and he's still turning it in, week out. And then I've gone for Sterling. So I think he gets too much stick, and he's a quality winger. And then I've gone for Rashford, only because Man United can't find a position to stick with, and just go for it. They just keep putting him on the wing, up front. They need to decide where he wants to play, where he's best at, and go for it. Because he's going to have an up and down career if he just keeps moving from left to centre to right. And he ain't going to... It's like Henry, if you started putting him everywhere all across the pitch, he wouldn't have been the same. Everybody knew that Henry cut in, whipped it in. Even though you knew he was going to do it, you couldn't stop him.
Nope.
But Man United just can't find where to best play him at the minute. So I'll sell Rashford.
What about you, Dan?
So third best winger in the Premier League. So I will start Raheem Sterling. He's proven it for Man City. So a few seasons now, the amount of goals and assists he's got with his sheer acceleration. I would bench Rashford.
Okay,
I
this is
rate
interesting
Rashford.
now.
I rate Rashford. I think he literally is on the wing up front. He's done really well for United. Like this season, he scored quite a lot of male goals this season, hasn't he?
14 Premier League, I think.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. Considering this United team is absolute garbage, so he's not done too bad. And then I would sell Sancho. I mean, personally, I haven't seen enough of Sancho. Being honest,
Have you seen the stats?
I haven't watched much German football this season, so I can't say like I can't pick him over Sterling and Rashford because I've seen more of them and I haven't seen much.
You can, and I'm sure Jack's about to.
Jack's, he's like waiting. He's like,
You want to watch Sancho? BT Sport.
Yeah, I've seen Sterling consistently. He's been brilliant, and I've seen Rashford for a couple of seasons. And for me, he's starting to get even better. And when England go into the Euros next season, it's going to look very exciting having Kane, Rashford, and Sterling up front.
Yeah, it's going to look even more exciting with Sancho instead of Rashford. But I'm going, Jack.
Right, so I'm starting Sancho. Purely for the simple fact of for his age, for the amount of time he's played, like he's just a different class. Like he is instantly gelled into a league. Like bearing in mind, like he can't speak German, and he's just instantly gone over there. You look at so many players like who he's just instantly gelled with. He was over there last season, and players like Paco Alcalá, who wasn't a great player, and all of a sudden he's just gelling with players, amazingly gelled with Haaland. Players just seem to thrive off him. I'm benching Sterling. Sterling has massively improved, but there's points where Sterling just switches off, or just all of a sudden that's the only problem I have with Sterling. There was a few times where he's been 2 yards out and he's just missed an open goal. But I'll get over that. And I'm selling Rashford because Rashford's not a winger. In a discussion about wingers, Rashford is not a winger. Rashford is a striker. If this was a conversation about strikers, I might put Rashford a bit higher. But if it's about wingers and going on about Euros, if he goes with his England career being I want to play left wing, he will not start a game. That's just the honest truth.
I would 100% start Sancho as well, so there's no way I'd be selling him. I think with Sterling, I think if you took Guardiola away as well, I think Guardiola's massively improved him. I think before Guardiola, he wasn't that good. Whereas you look at Sancho was that good under Lucien Favre. So imagine if he gets to City or gets a decent manager at Liverpool, he could be amazing. What was the next one? I've got it here.
It's the last one.
Well, it was just the last one on this bit, and then I've got a few more that I've chucked in. Yeah, go on.
I've got one.
Go on then.
Timo Werner.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Haaland.
Mm-hmm.
And Robert Firmino.
Sell Firmino.
Yeah, I would as well.
Bench Timo Werner, start Haaland.
I would sell Timo Werner because supposedly can't hear. And I'd start Firmino over Haaland.
Wow.
Mate, people are like
Firmino
Firmino
does
shit.
more than just score goals. I agree.
Yeah, he
Firmino
does,
is
but
shit.
Haaland's 19.
Yeah, I get that. But you're not 19 forever.
You could have him in your team for the next 10 years.
100% agree.
If Cortinas do not give me some sort of credit for that little name drop, then don't know who will.
You think Haaland could do it in the Premier League?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
He's a big boy.
What about you, Barry?
Big and quick.
What about you, Barry, then?
I'd go. I don't know. Werner seems like a decent player.
They're all decent players.
Yeah. Do you know where I'm going? But Haaland, I don't know. I've seen bits and bobs of him, but he seems a bit slow to me.
He's
Are you
rapid.
fucking joking, mate?
I've seen him the other day.
He ran the length of the pitch in 12 seconds.
He looked like he's walking through quicksand when I was watching him the other day.
Barry, it's just you watching him. You were slow to watch him.
Kia, one more quickly. Sadio Mane.
Mm-hmm.
Kylian Mbappe.
Mbappe straight away. But go on.
Over Mane.
Yeah, 1 billion%.
Easily.
1 trillion%.
But these are different positions. Kylian Mbappe is a straight up striker.
No, left wing I'd play him. I'd play him at left wing ahead of Mane.
Yeah, I would.
He was the third anyway, just to have choice, because Mane's being sold. Mbappe's starting, so who are you benching?
Varane,
Whoever's
Mbappe and Neymar is going to do it.
Neymar's being benched. There you go, done.
Nah, Neymar's been sold.
Neymar's
Yeah,
sold.
Neymar's been sold, mate. Neymar's a pile of shit, mate. All right.
Nah, I do like Neymar, and it's a
he's wasted
commercial
his
value.
career.
He has.
He went for the money, didn't he?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
He's wasted his career exactly the same club that Kylian Mbappe's at.
Yeah, I agree. Mbappe needs to move.
Everyone's just sat there like, shit.
I love Mbappe. Mbappe will be.
I've never met him, so I can't say if I love him or not. But he's a nice guy.
I will have his babies.
So,
We will go for a classic now. Maradona, Messi, or Pele. So we'll go to Barry.
why'd you never go to me?
Go on. We'll go to Jack. Sorry, Barry.
Yeah, go on, Jack. Go on.
All right, I'm starting Maradona
Mm-hmm.
because Maradona is, in my opinion, the best player that has ever played on this planet. Maradona could be 16 stone and full of coke, mate, and he's still the best player that's ever played on this planet. Honestly, him in the
86 World Cup.
him at Mexico 86. Honestly, it was at Spain 86. I don't know, whichever one it was. He just dominated everything, and like it's one of those things where like if you spoke to people about the Argentinian squad wasn't even that good.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Argentinian squad, I think someone said like the Argentinian squad wasn't even expected to make it out of its group stage, and if it wasn't for Maradona, they wouldn't have done anything. Like even in the early 90s, like if you look at him playing in Italy in the early 90s, he was incredible for like Sampdoria and like who he played for. Like he was unreal, even when he had all of these problems. Even when he went to like even when he went to Italia 90, and he was like banned for coke, like he was still incredible. And it's just like at the end of the day, like Messi is just a modern day version of Maradona. Like the fact that people say Messi is the next Maradona shows you that Maradona is as good, if not better, than Messi. Don't get me wrong, I'm going to bench Messi and I'll sell Pele. Pele's like, once again, like they're different players. Like Messi and Maradona aren't out and out strikers, whilst Pele kind of was.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if you look at like the squad that Pele had, like that Brazil squad was unreal. Like every player in that position was unreal. And like, if you look at like, you could look at so many positions and you could pick players from that Brazil squad, and they'd probably be like arguments for all of them to be in like the best of their positions. Like Pele had a world-class team with him, whilst Maradona didn't. But Maradona still won the World Cup with a dog shit team.
Yeah, I get it. Pele did win 3 though, didn't he? He won 58, 62 and 70. And
yeah, but that's just a squad though, isn't it? Like, but then like, you know, like Socrates was part of that squad. And Socrates is thinged as one of the best attacking mids of all time. But Socrates never ever comes into a world best conversation, you know? There's so many of those players that realistically could, but because Pele scored so many goals, everyone's like, Pele this, Pele that, Pele this. Like, Pele's just a byproduct of a great team, as opposed to Maradona, who was easily the best player of his era.
He did also score 2 World Cup finals at the age of 17.
And Maradona, being 4'2", managed to outjump Peter Shilton.
He did use his hand, I believe, just to put that out there.
No, God used his hand.
God used his hand. Dan, I can see you shaking your head, so go
on. The greatest ever player to ever compete in football is Pele. It's for me, that's quite simple. It is Pele. There's a reason why Brazil 1970 is being considered the greatest team ever to play in football. It was an unbelievable team. The amount of goals he scored, I've seen him before, but he was unbelievable. Don't get me wrong, Maradona and Messi were class, but Pele was on another level for me. So I would start Pele because I think he's the greatest ever player. I would bench Messi because
anyone who says I will bench Messi has got problems. I know Jack did, but I just
Messi for me, he is the greatest footballer we have seen in the last 20, 30. Well, no, I think he's better than Maradona. So For me, Messi, the amount of goals, the amount of assists he has scored, the consistency of 15 years or so of being able to score the amount of goals and assists, he makes Barcelona look incredible. Amount of Ballon d'Ors he's won, La Ligas, he's won a few Champions Leagues. For me, he's better than Ronaldo as well. But for me, he's better than Maradona. For me, Messi. And plus, Maradona's the biggest cheat ever, and he's an absolute arsehole. So Messi got to be benched, and Maradona's got to be sold.
All right, Barry.
I'll start with Maradona, just over Messi, just for the fact that Maradona didn't always play with the greatest of players, and he made them run through brick walls. They just give him the ball and said, do whatever you want, do your magic and score. But Messi played with a bit more better class of player, I think. But Maradona had more of effect on the team. I don't think it's always about scoring 600 goals in your career. It's the effect that you have on the team. And everywhere he went, he had the effect, and everybody remembers that Maradona played for that club. And then I would sell Pele. Just because I know he scored maybe 1,000 goals in his career, but look at the team and players he played with.
So, just the thing against Dan, and I just want to point out.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah, but this is the problem I've got. So you're saying Pele is the best player in the world because he scored loads of goals and he won 3 World Cups with the best team ever, but you think Messi is better than Ronaldo, despite Ronaldo has won 3 Champions Leagues in a row.
Ronaldo, yeah.
The best team
better than Ronaldo,
in
definitely.
club football,
Messi.
but because Messi makes a bad team look better.
Messi's 2 years younger and he scored 150 more goals than Ronaldo for a start.
But the point I'm saying is you picked Pele over Maradona because he scored loads of goals with the best team ever.
Yeah, but he was most
picked
skillful.
Messi over Ronaldo because he makes the team look better.
Pele was unreal.
Yeah, but the problem is that entire squad was unreal. The entire Brazil squad was easily the best squad for almost a decade and a half. The Argentinian 86 squad was pure shit, and he won the World Cup with it.
Yeah, but that's not Pele's fault that it was so good, was it?
No, but the squad makes Pele better.
Yeah, that's the point. The point is Pele played with players like Socrates, and you can name so many of that Brazil squad. But if you could literally go to something like Pointless, and you could be name the Brazil 1970 squad, and every single score would be high 80s.
You look at
name
stats,
another player from the
86.
86.
If you look at stats, Jack, right? If you look at the stats, it is considered that Pele is the greatest player ever to play football. You've read all the stats.
No, he scored a lot of goals. But also, what league did Pele play in?
Santos in the Brazilian league.
He played in the Brazilian league. He played in the Brazilian league. It's very easy to score in the Brazilian league.
He also played for New York Cosmos, so don't count that out.
There, wasn't it?
Don't count that out.
That was a holiday, wasn't it?
What I'm saying is you could pick players and players from that Brazil 1970 team. Name 2 players from the Argentinian 86 team. Oh, wait.
I can't think of many, no, I can't.
You can think of Maradona, that's it. It's just the type of class the man had. The man went to Italy and played for a team that wasn't that good and made him into league winners.
How many Ballon d'Ors Maradona won? I generally don't know.
No, I don't believe.
I don't think he did.
How many did Pele win?
I
don't know.
None. I don't think they did. They didn't introduce it to non-European players until 19 something. So yeah, none of them could have won it. So unlucky.
You imagine though, if you had Maradona and Pele and Messi in the same team, could you imagine that?
No.
They probably win everything.
They'd win everything.
Especially if they're Philip Lahm right back.
Oh, Cafu.
Anyway, go on and Kian, what's your others?
We've got one more I'm gonna do. I've got loads listed here. I like them ones. I'm gonna do this one because I thought it was a bit left field. And I quite find it funny. So I'm gonna do my suggestion. Peter Crouch, Emil Heskey, or Andy Carroll. So I haven't let you have time to think about this before the game, or before the episode, sorry. So Barry, off the top of your head, Crouch, Heskey, Carroll.
Get rid of Carroll. He's non-effective player. Injuries. And have you seen his new beard?
Obviously, they're all. Yeah, I've seen his new beard. Obviously,
His
they're
new
all
beard's
fully
champion,
fit.
mate.
They're all fully fit.
Absolute champion, mate.
I'll start Heskey. I think he's underrated for his career. He's just a meme throughout his career, but if you think about what sort of player he was, I think he was quality for what he was. And I think he underplayed himself really throughout his career. He only really played good when he got angry. He got aggressive and off against players, a bit like Drogba. And if he'd done a little bit more, he could have been like up with like Henry and Shearer and that.
You can get in the bin, Barry.
If he took his game to another level,
but he didn't.
No, that's what I mean. And then Crouchy's a good coming on player, score header, usual. I don't know really rated Crouchy.
I'd probably start Crouch in this situation. He scored over 100 Premier League goals, same as Heskey has, to be fair. But
The only thing I rate about Crouchy is he actually had a half-decent England career, like goal ratio-wise.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. Thanks for stealing my thunder, Barry. Very good England career. I think he's got 22 goals and like 45 appearances, something like that, which is pretty good internationally. Also played in the Champions League final. Also, Liverpool, played for numerous clubs and all scored for them clubs. Heskey ended up playing centre-back for Bolton at one point. So, Dan, we'll go to you.
Probably be controversial again, but for me,
Start Andy Carroll.
Yeah.
No, I would start Emile Heskey because Emile Heskey made Michael Owen play really well. There was always Heskey and Owen up front, and Heskey made Owen play really well. He was not like a number 10, but he was that second striker.
Okay, but in your squad, you might not have Michael Owen. You might not have Michael Owen.
Wasn't it Michael Owen and Robbie Fowler up front?
No, it was Heskey Owen.
Heskey came on quite a lot, I think. Heskey and Owen did well for England at
I
one point.
would start Heskey. I think he's played all right, to be fair. I think bench.
If you're going on that logic, you got to put Crouchy.
Bench Carroll. Bench Carroll. No, I'm joking. That was a joke, by the way.
No, it wasn't. That was not a joke.
Go on.
I realise how bad he's fucked up.
Do you know what I have fucked up? No, I've got to start Crouch. I have to start Crouch, and then I have to bench Heskey.
Yeah, chat.
Purely for his goal against City, I'm starting Crouch. That was an incredible goal. Prime Emile Heskey on the bench, couldn't hit the open side of a barn door. But he's going to be on the bench purely for the simple fact of I would sell Carroll because a fully fit Carroll is going to get injured. So he's getting sold.
Keaton.
Yes.
Just a quick one. Peter Schmeichel. Buffon. Or Oliver Kahn.
Buffon, Kahn, Schmeichel.
Yeah.
Kahn, Buffon, Schmeichel.
You're putting
Kahn's
Kahn over Buffon.
Yeah, mate. Kahn's mentality when you're facing a charity game of 9-year-olds, mate, you still save every penalty, mate.
His penalty save record was incredible.
Really
Peter
good.
Schmeichel, I'm going to go, unfortunately, his career at Aston Villa ruins it for him.
And Man City.
And Man City, yeah.
Yeah, 1 year Man
He's one
City.
of the best. He's ahead of all of them.
Who?
He's ahead of Buffon and Kahn.
Who?
Schmeichel?
Yeah, easy.
Get in the bin.
He scored one
United
bicycle kick, mate, and you were like fucking going mental.
Yeah, he had that one save against Juventus as well, didn't he?
That one save.
That one's so brilliant.
Right, before we go, I am going to do it because I thought it was a funny suggestion. Dyer, or Dyer. So I hope you know which Dyers we're on about. Kieran Dyer. I assume I didn't actually write.
We're
this
on about
Jack.
Kieran Dyer, Nathan Dyer, and Eric Dyer.
Yeah.
All right.
Different positions, but go on, Jack.
Right, Kieran Dyer, mate. He's starting. He was class. He had a bit of fire in his belly. He nutted Lee Bowie. I love him. Okay. Nathan Dyer, he can go on the bench because he's got a bit of pace. Eric Dyer is the shittest player I've ever watched in my life. He can get in the bin.
Thank you. Short and sweet. Barry?
Yeah, I agree with Jack. I quite like Kieran Dyer at Newcastle. And Nathan Dyer was actually a decent little player. And Eric Dyer, I don't rate him at all.
He gave away a good penalty the other day, didn't he? He nearly gave away 2. Dan?
I don't rate him.
I would start Nathan Dyer, and I would bench Kieran
Okay.
Dyer.
I was going to say.
Lish, I thought you were going to say it.
We were waiting for it. Right, we'll leave it there. I think that we could do another one of this because there are so many good ones. I think you could do. We've had suggestions of partnerships with like Vidic and Fernand versus Terry Carvalho versus Adams Camp or something like that. We could do loads of them. So we'll leave it there for tonight. So thank you for coming on, Barry.
See you later.
Thanks for coming on, Jack. Wave now.
See you later.
Thanks for coming on, Dan.
Cheers, Kiam.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching.
Cheers.
See ya.